Alright guys, welcome to our channel Code with Sunny, and in this video I will be talking about a very good problem called making a large island. Its index is 827 and it is categorized as hard problem of the lead code. Okay, so this problem has been asked in a Google interview. So this problem is really an interesting one. You can see the number of likes is huge and the number of dislikes is like very less. Okay, so before proceeding further, I just want to tell you guys that the related topics for this problem is like if you hover over the down in the section called related topics, you can see like array, depth first search, breadth first search, union find, and matrix. Okay, so the concept is like what I'm going to do, what I'm going to explain, and what I have done for this problem is like I've used union find algorithm to solve this problem in the best possible way. Okay, so I will recommend you guys to go over this website CP algorithms and just go to this section disjoint set union. So if you want some like basic idea about the disjoint set union, you just read it out, and also for like you have to just write down 2 3 functions like find set function and union set function. Okay, and also if you are going to optimize your code, then you must have to read about path compression optimization, and also you are going to unite the sets using like a rank compression also. Okay, so it is like mandatory for you guys to study this concept disjoint set union for this problem. Also this concept is going to help us in like in much other problems that you are going to face later on also, because it is a very popular data structure as you can see over here. Okay, so I will recommend you guys to read it. Okay, now we have been given an into n binary matrix grid. Binary matrix means it consists of only zeros and ones, and now we are allowed to change at most one zero to become as 1. Okay, so you can see the term at most 1. You can change, like you are going to change any one cell value whose initial value is 0 and you are going to change it to 1, or you're not going to change anything, like you're not going to change any of the cells, or you're going to change any one cell and the initial value of that cell is 0 and you're going to change it to 1. Okay, now after doing this operation at most one time, we have to return the size of the largest island in the grid after applying this operation. So the concept is like size of the largest island. You can see the term island is like a four directionally connected group of ones. If you're not understanding this right now, let me explain this in other words, or you should have to hold some patience where I am going to explain later on with the help of diagrams. So actually the term island is like a group of ones being connected in a matrix where matrix consists of values either 0 or 1. Okay, so if you look over this example, like I have built over here, you can see that this is a group of ones being connected. So this is an island whose size is 3. Okay, similarly, if you focus upon the other group of ones, you can see that this is another island. Okay, so its size is 4. Okay, and similarly, you can see that this is another island, its size is 2. Okay, now moving on, let's look over the constraints. You can see n is like 500. Okay, and grid of ij is either 0 or 1. You can see that number of rows is exactly matching with the number of columns. I think I have done this problem like considering it as a rectangle, so no need to worry about. You are going to explain like replace the value of m is as n. Okay, so we'll talk about it later on. For now, let's move further to understand this problem with this example. Okay, so let's move further. Okay, so before taking this this huge two examples, I just want to recommend that let's understand this example first. Okay, then we are going to move further. Okay, so suppose we have to do at most one operation. Suppose in a case like we are not going to do any of the operations. You can see this is the one of the islands, and this is another island. Note that these two islands are not connected. Okay, so if you find out the size of the islands is exactly equal to the number of cells holding the value as 1 and the cells are being connected. You can see this cell has size 1 and this cells of connected component as also the size as 1. So there are two islands each of size 1. What is the maximum size? Maximum size is 1. Okay, so now you can see that if you're not using any of the operations, your answer is coming as 1. Okay, now let's choose let's do some of the operations. Some of the operations means that we are going to do exactly one of operations. Okay, So what we are going to do is let's erase this 0 and let's put over the value as 1. Okay, so it means that we are changing the one of the zeros and changing it to 1. You can see that after doing that, you can see we have a group of islands being connected and its size becomes 3. Now, previously we have the size as 1. Now we are getting the size as 3 after doing at most one operation. So this is the current maximum size of the island that we are going to get after performing at most one operations. Okay, now let's do another thing. Like another thing is like we are not going to change this 0, rather than we are going to change this 0. Okay, let's change it to 1, and after doing that, let's find out the connected component. You can see that one of the connected component is this one, and there are no more connected components. If this is the connected components and this is called an island, let's find out the size of this island. It is coming out as 3. So again we are getting the size as 3. So what is the maximum size after doing at most one operations? At most one operation means either we are not going to do anything, or we are going to change any one of the cell containing the value as 0 to 1. You can see that we are getting the answer as 3. So 3 is the maximum answer that we are going to get in this problem statement where this is the input. Okay, note that we are going to do at most one operation. So 3 is our answer. So let's move on to some difficult examples like this one. Okay, so what we are going to, let's first find it out the connected components that is present over here. You can see that this is the one of the connected components. Note that I am not going to change any cell containing the value as 0 to 1. Okay, so this is also one of the connected components, and this is also the one of the connected components. Okay, so this is the there are 4 islands present over here. So what is the maximum size of island? Any islands, you can see it is coming out as 4. Okay, so can we improve can we improve this value? And the value is 4, right? So yes, we can improve this value. And what is the condition that we are going to do? You are going to change any one of the cell. Okay, so changing any one of the cell whose initial value is 0, we are going to change it to 1. So after doing that, can we improve this value? Let's find out by doing some work. Okay, so what we are going to do is let's change this 0 to the value of 1. If we are doing that, you can easily see that the connected component that I am going to find is okay, so let me draw it very carefully. Okay, so let me use this eraser, and okay, let's make it as 1. And the connected component that would come over here is like okay, so it is like this one. Okay, so this is the connected component. What is the size of this connected component? You can see the size of this connected component is coming about 5 plus 2 8 and plus 3 11. So 11 is my new answer, right? So we are doing at most one operation, and then our size of the island is going to increase. Okay, so this is our one of the answers. This can be maximum. Let's check it out further. Islands that we can build by replacing any 0 with 1. Okay, so let's replace this 0 with 1. You can see that the size of this connected component, like size of the new island, is like this one. Again, you can see that the size of this island that is formed over here is like 2 plus 3 5 plus 2 8, and still we are getting the size being less than 11. So let's discard this operation. Let's do another one. If we replace this 0 with 1, again you are going to see that we are going to get this one. So it was like 4 plus 2 8 plus 2 10 and 11. Oh wow, so we are getting the value as 11, I think. Okay, I'm not sure about that. So it is 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, it's 9. Okay, so 9 is the size, and it is still less than 11. So if you do further operations, you are going to find that yes, 11 is the maximum answer, I guess. Okay, so if you still have any doubts right now up to here, I will recommend to mention it in the comment section or just ping me out. Okay, so for now, let's move further to understand this problem with the help of disjoint set union data structure. Okay, so I think I should have to mention one thing that, okay, so one thing that should be noted over here, like we need to do at most one operations. Okay, so suppose I am going to do like nothing. In that case, you are going to just have a O of n square in O of n square time, you are going to find out the maximum size of this connected component consisting of ones. Now we are going to have a like change any zero, change any 0. Now in worst case you can see that the entire matrix can consist of 0. So you will have the time complexity as O of n square into, and you have the some other term where we are going to check it out that whether on doing this operation what is the maximum size of the connected component that we are going to get. Like if we are going to change this 0 to the value of 1, you can see that my answer would be coming as some like 2 3 5 to like 3 to 5, and this 3 8. So my answer becomes 8. So how we are going to calculate this value as 8 as fast as possible? Okay, so the very tricky logic is like we are going to use a log of n, log of n square. Like this is like, yes, this is log of n square. Like we are going to append this log of n square time mode, which is going to be done by DSU data structure. So we are going to use disjoint set union data structure to find the value, this value efficiently by changing any of the 0 to the other value as 1, and let's find out the new answer, like new current answer. And after doing that for all the cells containing 0, we are going to maximize our answer and return the answer. Okay, so let's move further to understand this concept of disjoint set union data structure that can be applied to this problem to find out the best solution of this problem. So let's move further. Okay, so again, I'm just recommending you guys that you guys must read the article that I've suggested in the beginning of this video. Now let's understand this how we are going to use this DSU based approach to solve this problem. Okay, so you can see that the very important thing is like suppose we have an array, and in that case every element of the array has some unique identification, and the identification is like the its index, like it is 0 and it is 1 and it is 2 and it is 3. So if we want that like let's call some adjacent cell like this cell and this cell being to lie in the same connected component, like if we have some connected component and these two cells lie in the same connected component, then what we are going to do, we are going to just perform the union set operation, like union set of these two index. Okay, so like I'm just recalling the term like union set. So if you guys again haven't studied the concept of DSU, I will again recommend that you just have a read it out at least one time so that you can have a rough idea what I am going to explain it about. Okay, so you can see that this is the one element and this is another element. I am going to join these two elements, and on joining these two elements we have like for every connected component we will have exactly one parent, and we are going to maintain the size of this connected component also. Okay, so what we are going to do this over this problem is like we have been given a matrix, like so if we have been given a matrix, we have some cells, then how we are going to provide the unique identification to a particular cell? We can provide this a unique identification okay, so its indexing starts from 0 and its indexing starts from 0. So I can give a unique identification to every cell by I into m, where m is the number of columns plus j. Okay, so this is the unique identification that I'm going to give, where I and j is going to vary from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the rows, and j is going to vary from 0 to m minus 1, where where m is the number of columns. Okay, so if I'm at this cell, I'm going to just fill up the value of I and j in this expression. I'm going to get the unique value. Okay, so now the thing is what I'm going to do, just traverse every cell. Okay, so traverse every cell, and suppose we are at this cell, like I'm talking about traverse every cell like in the entire matrix. If we are at this cell, according to the problem statement, you can see that an island is like four directionally connected group of ones. So I will just check it out in the all the four directions, up, down, left, and right. And if the value is like 1, and if that cell is present, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just join this cell, that is my current cell, and this adjacent cell either up, right, left, or down, if both containing ones, with the unique number that I am going to get. Note that the unique number is going to be given by this expression I into m plus j. If I am able to connect that, just connect that and just uh, like uh, change the parent of this connected component. Okay, now if you are aware about the DSU data structure, you can see that for every connected component, we have a unique parent. Okay, that's what I'm talking it about. Okay, so suppose that this is one of the connected component that I am seeing over here is this is this connected component, you can see. So if this is one of the connected component, you can see that this connected component had some unique parent, and also we are going to maintain the size of this connected component. Okay, and the entire thing is going to be done by disjoint set based union data structure. So the very first thing that you are going to do is like traverse through the entire matrix, and for every cell try to find out if there exists some adjacent cell either up, left, right or down, and if that adjacent cell also contains the value of 1 and my current cell also contains the value of 1, just make, or you can say just try to just merge this unique number of adjacent cell and the unique number of current cell into same connected component, and just perform the union set operation as described, sorry, as described in the disjoint set based union data structure approach. Okay, now if this entire thing has been done, now this is going to help us in finding it out. If I will do at most if I will do a single operation for that cell which contain the value as 0, then we are going to able to find it out the connected component, like a maximum, like the size of the island that is being formed due to change of this current element. Okay, so let's move further to do that. Okay, so as you are seeing this example, now consider that I am going to change this cell. Okay, the value containing 0 to the value containing 1. Now suppose I am changing this cell, you can see that on changing this cell, the current, that is the current island size is going to vary. How this is going to be varied? Suppose this becomes 1. Okay, you can see that the island size is going to vary like this one, entire this, and this is the new island. Suppose it is not being changed, then you are going to see that the one of the island is like this one and another island is like this one. So on changing this cell, these two islands gets combined, and the new size of the island is like the size of this cell, size of this connected component, sorry. So plus 1, you can see that my new size would become 11. Okay, so how we are going to find that efficiently? So what I'm going to do is that traverse the entire matrix again, and for every cell containing the value of 0, explore all the 4 adjacent cell of this current cell if it is present. You can see that this is present, this is present and this is present. Okay, and for a particular adjacent cell, this cell, try to find it out the what is the parent of this connected component that is containing that cell. So if it parent is like f1, okay, so now explore the other connected component of the adjacent cells, this is another adjacent cell. So try to find out the parent of this connected component where this cell is present. You can see that the connected component is actually this one. So let's call that connected component like this one, parent as f2. Okay, now again you can see that again another adjacent cell is this one. So this is already lying in this connected component. So again the parent of this one is like f2. So what you are going to do is find all those distinct parents of find all those distinct parents of adjacent cells connected component, and you can see that here it is f1 and f2. It means that f1 is the connected component, f2 is another connected component, and we need to join these two connected components. There can be more than two connected components, suppose this cell is going to lie in another connected component, then in that case there are two times of f2 and we are going to use only one time f2. In that case you are going to have an f3 variable also. You are going to just merge f1, f2 and f3. So your new size of the connected component of island would become f1 plus f2 plus f3 plus 1 also, because you are going to change the current cell containing the value as 0 to 1. Okay, so this you are going to do for every cell containing the value as 0. So your time complexity would become O of n square into log of n square. Okay, log of n square is because we are going to have a disjoint set union, and if we are going to have a disjoint set union, then we can have a logarithmic time also. Okay, note that we are going to provide a unique identification to every cell. Okay, so let's move further to the coding part where I'm going to explain the entire thing in a detail also. Okay, so let's move further. Okay, so you can see that a lot of being theories and wrong answers then I can come up with this correct answer, because there are some bugs that I am going to have that is going to get some time while debugging. So let's move on to the coding part where I'm going to explain the entire thing. Note that you must have a prerequisite knowledge of disjoint set union. Okay, so what I'm going to do is okay, so I have also defined some things. You can see F as first, S as second, and this PI, because it is going to be used a lot of times. Now I'm going to define this as globally vector pair int comma int, where the first element of the this pair is going to denote the parent of a particular cell, and another element is going to denote the rank of that particular connected component. Okay, and this is CMP size, where this is going to maintain the component size. Now every cell has unique identity. Then we are going to use a disjoint set union approach, or you can say DSU, data structure in short. Okay, so for a cell I comma j, we are going to map it to this unique number I into m plus j. Okay, where m is the number of columns. Note that I have taken the value as n and m, because I was unaware about that. N and m are actually the same value. Okay, so this is actually the find set function of DSU data structure. You can see that I am going to have like path compression also to optimize my code, so that we can have a good runtime. And also we have this union set function also. In the union set function, we are going to modify one thing, that is, if the both connected components, like if you're trying to find out the x and y, whether x and y are going to lie in the same connected component, and if it is yes, we are going to not, like we are not going to unite these two connected components, otherwise you are going to perform this union operation, and the union is going to be based on the rank of the particular connected component. Okay, so if both has the same rank, you are going to increment one of them, and after doing that we are going to check out the ranks, and which the connected component which is which has lesser rank is going to be merged with the connected component which has higher rank. And while merging, you need to be assured that the size of this connected component is going to be increased. Like if we are merging y root into x root, then the size of this x root, where x root is the parent of the connected component, is going to be increased by the is going to be increased by the size of this another connected component. Okay, so don't get confused. So in this case, we will have what I'm going to do. This is for initialization. You can see I'm going to traverse to n into m and provide every cell a unique. No. Sorry, I'm not going to provide the unique values over here. This is for initialization. You can see that I'm traversing till n into m, because you can see every cell has the value as this one, and this at most can go up to n into m. Okay, so you can see that the very first element of the pair is I and another element is 0, and for now you can see that I am pushing back the value as 0, and if it is 1, then I am going to increment my component size. That is, if the cell is containing the value as 1, like the size of the connected component is actually as 1. Okay, now traverse through the, and like traverse n square times like entire matrix, and just check it out if the adjacent cells holds the value as 1, like up, down, left, right, and if both holds the value as 1, you are going to provide the union set operation to both the cells with their unique numbers. You can see the one of the cell is like I into m plus j, and another of the cell is like I plus 1 into m plus j, whether I plus, like where I plus 1 must exist in this matrix, and cell I comma j and cell I plus 1 comma j must hold the value as 1. Okay, similarly I'm going to do for all the 4 adjacent cells. Now let's initialize our answer as 0, and this is going to store the distinct parents. Like if you focus over this one, where we can have like f1, another value as f2, and again we are getting the value as f2. If you focus over the parents of the adjacent cells connected components, you can see that I need to just focus upon the distinct parents, because if I will if I will add f1 then f2, then again I will add the f2, but it will give us the wrong answer, because we have added 2 times. We need to ensure that the parents must be distinct. Okay, now just traverse through these n square times, and if mat of ij is already 1, it means that we are not going to do any of the operations. If it is 1, let's find out the size of this connected component, and let's maximize our answer. Okay, otherwise we are going to do change the value of the current cell from 0 to 1. So current answer should be initialized with 1, because the cell is going to be changed from 0 to 1. Now let's clear this distinct unordered set. Now try to explore all the 4 adjacent cells and put in a set, like put the, like what is the parent value of this connected component of, like if you're exploring the right adjacent cell, try to find out the parent of that connected component where the right cell is present, and try to put in a set, and we need to just find it out what are the distinct parents, and we need to just add it out the size of that connected components. Okay, and our answer will be maximum of my current answers. Okay, so finally return the answer. This will give you all test cases passed with runtime beats around 86%. So if you have any doubts, do not hesitate to ask in the comment section of the video. And I will ask the viewers to like this video, share this video, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you for watching this video.